Hello, how are you? I am back again and I thought I would do a quick 2-minute video all about my first impressions of the Jo Malone Fig Leaf and Lotus Flower cologne. I am so new to this perfume that I keep forgetting the name of it, so bear with me. But yes, I've been wearing it all day and I think it's really pretty. When this came out, I got 2 text messages of 2 friends. One of them said, "Have you tried the new Jo Malone perfume? I hate it." The other one said, "Have you tried the new Jo Malone perfume? I love it." And I was like, this is very conflicting views from 2 of my friends who I really rate their fragrance knowledge. So I was really confused. I was really like, this is odd. This is very conflicting. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it because I really like this person's view on fragrance, but I also really like this person's view on fragrance. And I was very confused. Anyway, I'm so pleased I finally got to try it for myself because actually I really love it. I am a huge fan of fig-based fragrances as it is. You probably know that by now. I love so many fig-based fragrances. It's such a beautiful accord. I love green fragrances. I love fig. I love that green, leafy, earthy, woodsy, just green milkiness. I think it's so pretty. I was a huge fan of the Wild Fig and Cassis, which has been discontinued, but I think is now available again online only in the UK. But yeah, this is kind of part of the permanent collection. I'm so happy that there is a fig-based fragrance available to everybody all around the world all the time. So this fragrance contains notes of fig leaf, lotus flower and vetiver. Now it's not mentioned, but I personally think at the top of the fragrance there is a hint of lemon. There is this kind of like really lovely fresh citron-y kind of lemony vibe, which is really lovely. And then I also think there's a bit of mint leaf in there. I don't know if that's just me, but I definitely kind of get this kind of just, I don't know if it's spearmint or peppermint, but I definitely get this kind of like green leafy minty vibe, which is actually very lovely. It's not too much, it's not weird, it's not overpowering. It's just kind of like adds a little bit more to the leafiness and it adds a little bit more freshness and sparkle, but in an unexpected way. The lotus flower, I have to be honest, I was nervous about the idea of lotus flower. I thought it was going to make it a little bit too pretty. I thought it was going to make it a little bit too fruity floral and frou-frou-y and maybe a bit sweet, but actually it kind of just adds this warmth and this slightly floral note, which is kind of aquatic, which is quite lovely. And then at the base there is vetiver, and the vetiver is quite interesting because normally vetiver is much more dry and grassy, but this vetiver has a slightly more moist note. I think it's because of the lotus flower. I think it's kind of got a little bit of moss going on, but it's not as dry and grassy as you might think. I think it's a little bit more like vetiver with moss. That's my kind of feeling. It doesn't feel like a dry fragrance. It feels quite earthy and I don't know, just quite like moist ground, like in a woodland, but in a good way. Like Moist Woodland. Buy this perfume, it smells like Moist Woodland. But yeah, no, I think but I think it's really pretty. I do love the fig leaf. I do actually really like the lotus flower. I don't think it's too sweet, and I do like the kind of groundy earthiness, mossiness of the vetiver. I think it's lovely. The mint was a little bit unexpected. I wasn't expecting to kind of get that kind of like fresh mint kind of leaf. It's not mentioned in the description. That's just something that I've personally picked up on. I might be completely wrong. There might be no mint in it whatsoever. There may also be no lemon in it, but that's personally what I get from it. You can wear it alone or you can combine it with other fragrances. If you do want to make it a little bit fresher, you can combine it with wood sage and sea salt, which would make it very pretty, a little bit more light and summery and kind of coastally, which would be lovely. It can also be combined with English pear and freesia, which for me I think would make it a little bit too fruity floral, but I think it might make English pear and freesia a little bit more exciting. And then you can also combine it with lime basil mandarin, which is one of my personal favorites from the collection, but might add kind of like an interesting green twist, which it already has, but just kind of amp up that basil note with a little bit more fig, and I think that would be really pretty. Or you can combine it with the other brand new fragrance from the collection, which is Cypress and Grapevine from the Cologne Intense collection. I will do another video about this perfume on its own. It would be quite an expensive combination if you were only going to wear them together, but if you do like them separately, then it is a really fun way to wear them. If I was to compare Fig and Lotus Flower to Wild Fig and Cassis, I would say that Wild Fig and Cassis is a little bit more juicy and berryish and kind of maybe a little bit more delicious. It's got much more sweet notes in it. It's got very much a kind of like earthy, autumnal, deliciousy blackberry kind of vibes. Whereas this one, I would say, is a little bit more, it's a little bit more unique. There's nothing really around like it. I would say it's probably a little bit fresher and maybe a bit more figgy, whereas Wild Fig and Cassis is a little bit more like a blend of the Fig and Cassis, whereas this one is much more true to a fig. And I would say that it's kind of got really interesting supporting notes as well. It is unisex. I can imagine it working well on a man. I think it is more of a summer fragrance. So I would say if you do want to wear it in the winter, you might want to combine it with something like Cypress and Grapevine. You can also combine it with the Oud and Bergamot, or the Dark Amber and Ginger Lily, or the Myrrh and Tonka, all from the Cologne Intense collections. But I just think it's really nice. Like, I think it's a really good new fragrance. In terms of comparing it to other fragrances in the collection, I would say the similarities obviously with the Wild Fig and Cassis. I would say this maybe Poppy and Barley. It kind of gives me those kind of vibes. I do kind of wish it had come out a little bit earlier in the season because I think it would have been beautiful on a hot summer's day. But similarly, I think it's going to be one that will transition nicely into autumn and then into winter, especially when you combine it with something like Myrrh and Tonka, or this new one which is called Cypress and Grapevine. I literally don't know the names yet. They haven't stuck in my head yet, which is crazy. Anyway, that's my video. I hope it's of help. I hope it's of interest. Like I said, the combination of the two together is an absolute dream, but the Fig and Lotus Flower alone is also absolutely stunning. So that is my first impressions. That is my miniature review. I hope it's of help. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And I will see you very soon. Thank you so much. Goodbye.